Greetings and salutations. I'm America's R&B historian, Tyrone Dubois. And my friends, you're watching the one, the only, The Cindy Davis Show.
I'm Cindy Davis Evans of The Cindy Davis Show. I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Andre Pittman of Enthrone Records for making this interview possible. My guest today is multi-talented singer, songwriter, and actress known for her credited roles in Baywatch, Knots Landed, and NYPD Blues. From the legendary 70s group Hodges, James, and Smith, here today on a mission for love with her new music, Love Reveloution. Welcome to the show, Miss Pat Hodges. Again, so welcome to the Cindy Davis Show. How are you doing throughout this pandemic?
Oh, well, fine. We had the experience when it first started last year, around this time last year. I, got it, and then my whole household had to be in quarantine for like 14 days. But when I went to the hospital, I spent maybe 3 or 4 days in the hospital, and then I came home and I was fine.
Well, praise the Lord for that.
Yes,
I'm glad you're fine. Wow. Yeah.
My family is fine.
That's a blessing. That's good to hear. That's what I want to hear.
Yes.
Yes. So where are you from, Pat?
I was born and raised right here in Watts, what they call Watts, South LA.
Yeah.
Born and raised in South LA, went to school in Compton.
Really?
And I live in Compton right now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Compton for you?
I actually grew up in South on 92nd and Central, which is, they call it Watts. That's what they call it. But since the riots in 65, South LA is included all the way to Lamert Park and all the way over there. But I was born and raised on 92nd and Central, where we just had a middle class neighborhood. You know, my mama and daddy, I was the only child. So
oh, really?
Oh yeah. My childhood was very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about your let's start with your career. You've had some extraordinary ride, I tell you.
Well, God has been good. God has been good. He gave me a gift, and then he allowed me to use it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I've done maybe 5 or 6 plays written and composed by Mickey Stevenson. And do you know who Mickey Stevenson is?
Why don't you tell us who he is?
Okay, Mickey Stevenson, Berry Gordy, and Smokey Robinson were the 3 main people that started Motown.
Okay.
Mickey was in charge of A&R, which is artists relations. And so he picked songs, picked groups, put the people together to make it really happen.
Yeah.
The Funk Brothers and all of them.
Wow.
That was all attributed to Mickey Stevenson, Berry Gordy, and Smokey Robinson. Well, Mickey decided to leave after a few years. He was there for a long time. And he came here to California.
Yeah.
To start his own label.
Okay.
Which was Venture Records. And Hodges, James, and Smith was one of his first acts.
Okay, tell us about Hodges, James, and Smith. That was composed of 3 young ladies, including yourself.
2 of us, Denita James and myself, were raised about 5 blocks from each other.
Wow.
We went to elementary school together. And, we just had been friends for almost our whole lives. And so she went, and we had different groups throughout the years. So she went and she met Jessica. So I was in school, and she called me and said, Pat, what you doing? I said, you know what I'm doing. I was at Cal State LA at the time. And so she said, you want to join a group? Come on over here and meet Jessica, and let's just do a group again. Well, we had sung in groups together. So I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I went over there and I met Jessica, and we just fell in love with each other. It was just our voices just seemed to happen together. Well, that takes work. That doesn't just happen, because Mickey had us what we call woodshedding. We rehearsed 3 hours a day. We had dance. We had the spa gym. We had to work out. It was a job.
Wow.
And that's the way he trained us. I mean, he did this, the Supremes the same way. That's how he formulated this. So he did us the same way. And so he wrote about some wonderful shows in which we all starred in. And on from there. And we made 4 albums and about maybe 20 something singles.
Wow.
Yeah, so we did a lot of stuff together.
So Hodges, James, and Smith, that was composed of your last names.
Yes. I'm Pat Hodges.
Yeah.
It was Denita James and Jessica Smith. And we were in there trying to figure out, okay, a name,
Yeah.
It's been, the Supremes and that. But what we thought about, the group Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, we thought about them, and we said, hey, that's a great idea. Why don't we use our last names? And Hodges, so it came out in alphabetical order.
Wow.
James.
Were you ever compared to the Supremes?
All the time.
Oh, really?
Yes. The Supremes, Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells, the Emotions.
Yeah.
They really compared us a lot. The Sister Sledge.
Oh, yeah.
Because our voices were so well blended together. I mean, sometimes you couldn't tell one from the other.
Wow.
And we had some great, David Benoit, you may not know him or not, but he's a keyboard player, and he used to work with us every day. It was a job.
Yeah.
We worked every day on building the group. Yeah. And so Mickey took us all over the world. Literally.
Wow.
Literally. Being with our records, London Records and 20th Century. They really did us good,
Yeah. So who were your musical influences growing up?
Oh, wow. Okay. I have to say, excuse me, my dad. My father made sure that I listened to all kind of music. And I mean, Nancy Wilson was my favorite artist.
Yeah.
But he took me to a concert. I had to be about 10 years old. And at the time, they weren't letting children into those kinds of shows.
Yeah.
It was in a big, huge tent. So he went in and told me, now you stand right here outside the tent, right?
Yeah.
He said, you stand right here. And I said, okay, Daddy. And he came and he lifted up the tent and I crawled under the tent, and he sat me there, and I listened to Duke Ellington and I listened to Duke and Benny Goodman and folks like that. He just wanted me to be acquainted and know real music.
Yeah, I'll say that's real music.
Yes. And when I turned 14, I made my first record. And he was in charge of it. He picked the songs and picked what kind of clothes I wore. He was my first manager, my dad was.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So, and they made sure I had dance lessons and piano lessons and music lessons. I don't know, they just saw in me where I was going.
Yeah.
So they made sure that I had everything I needed. Great parents. I had great parents.
That's a blessing. Yeah. How did your acting career come about? You had some guest roles and credit roles and NYPD Blues, Knots Landing. And, yeah. How did that come about?
Well, I just always had a yearning to act. When I was in high school, I was in the dance band. I was in the marching band and choir. And so this little old lady said, listen, do you do any acting? And I said, sure, why not? And so she wanted me to star in one of her shows that she produced at the high school in Centennial High School. And that's where it started. And from
that kind of planted the seed, huh?
Yeah, it did. It really did.
Yes.
And so I loved it. And so I continued. And as with the group, I would do that on my own, audition for shows and like that. And then we would all acting in the plays. We were singing and acting in the play. So I just had the bug. I just wanted to do it. Yeah.
What was it like being on those shows? Any memories that you like to share from being on Baywatch or NYPD Blues or?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it's funny. On Baywatch, what's his name? Oh my God, what's his name? I forgot his name. That was on Baywatch.
I can't remember
star.
His name.
Well, we went. I went on the show, and then afterwards, actually, I got on the show because we had done background for him. He had a whole album that he was in Germany where he was a star. And so he wanted us to do the background, Hodges James and Smith. So when I went to audition for the particular episode, he said, oh, yeah. He said, I was her fan before she was mine.
Wow.
And it was really funny. So I did the show and it was a lot of fun. And then he got the Young and the Restless. Yeah. And the day he got the Young and the Restless, we were at his house rehearsing and they were calling him, telling me he got accepted for the role. So it was an exciting time, but different, I just auditioned. And I went out, I got the role. It was Jake and the Fat Man. That was an old series.
I remember Jake and the Fat Man. I think Cannon was in it, right? He was a star.
Yes, I can't see the name. Isn't that terrible?
But so what was it like working with him? What was your role?
In Jake and the Fat Man or Baywatch?
Both.
In Baywatch, I was a mother that had two children that one of the boy was a bad actor.
Oh.
And he was getting in all kind of trouble.
Yeah.
So I told him, watch your little sister. I've got to go to work. You watch your little sister and you be careful. Well, she was standing on the edge of a rock and she fell over and he jumped in and saved her, but she had to go to the hospital.
Okay.
And so he was in the hospital and I was fussing at him. And I said, boy, didn't I tell you not to watch your little sister? What is wrong with you? And then the sister ended up going, Mommy, don't be mad at him. It was my fault. And she started crying. She said, don't be mad at my brother. I love my brother. And I said, okay, this time, boy, you better watch it. You better watch it, boy.
That must have been fun to play a mother. Did you have any children of your own?
I have one daughter.
Oh.
She is grown and I have two grandchildren.
Yes. We have that in common.
My granddaughter helps me do this. She does my makeup. We do the lighting. We do the recording, all of this. And she's in the other room now, but she helps me do all of this. I couldn't do it without her.
Yeah. She's a blessing, I bet, right?
Oh, she is.
Oh, wow.
She just turned 18.
Oh, really?
She just turned 18.
Wow.
She is
okay. Yeah. Let's talk about any race. Did you ever experience any racism growing up?
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't know really what it was.
Okay, you're right.
I'm a child. My father and my mother and my cousin Ricky, every summer we'd take a cross country ride. We would go from Los Angeles to Louisiana. That's where my parents were from.
Mm-hmm.
And we would go to Ohio, where my mother's father was. Then we would go to New York. We would stop in Niagara Falls, and, and we would go to New York, 125th and Lenox Avenue was where my uncle and my other cousins lived. So when I was in Shreveport, my father had to have some work done on the car.
Yes.
So we went to the dealership, and it was nice and cool on the inside of the lobby, but only white people could go in the lobby.
Wow.
Black people had to sit outside, either near where the car was being fixed. And I just I didn't understand that. I said, wait a minute, it's cool in there. How come we can't go in there? And so my dad said, just be quiet, Patricia.
Oh, wow.
We'll sit right here and be happy. And then I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, the white folks' bathroom was nice and clean and pristine, and the colored bathroom was nasty. It was just nasty and stinky and smelly. And I said, no, I really don't understand this. But what he did was, my daddy was a workaholic. So he played golf. He and my dad's brother would be the jockeys. What do you call them? The
caddy?
Yeah, caddies.
Uh-huh.
In the rich white greenery.
Oh.
And that's how he learned how to play golf. His second nature was playing golf.
Yeah.
So, but that's how he learned. But my daddy worked and got over and past that racism. He brought himself up. He took care of his family. He worked for the post office for 31 years.
Wow.
You know, and I mean, he just overcame it. And what he told me was, he said, Patricia, don't hate. That's not right. He said, what you do is learn from them. Yeah. And then do it better than them.
Oh, okay.
That was his philosophy.
Yeah.
So that was my experience. My daddy was amazing, like I said. So he taught me that kind of, he said, don't hate. Yeah. Hate's not right. And my mother was, stone church, high hat, clothes. My mama was a diva. And so my dad didn't go to church, but he made sure that my mama's car was clean, gassed up, and go whatever she wanted to go on Sunday.
Wow. Wow. Those are good old days, right?
Good old days. I'm telling you, I love my parents.
Wow. That's a blessing.
I miss them every day. I miss them every day.
Oh, that's a blessing. Yeah, I asked you about that because in your video, Love Revolution, it's going back into the 60s. Yes. Where hate and racism was really prevalent back then. Right. What was your premise to do a video like that?
Okay.
Protesting, yeah.
It was all that protesting, the dogs and the police brutality, and you can see Black people being, they might as well burned us at the stake. It was so horrible, but we stood. Yes. Okay, now my Bible tells me the only thing that can conquer hate is love.
Amen.
So I said, with all the protesting we've got, we need to have a love revolution.
I love it.
Change the thoughts and change the environment and change our culture and come together as one, as
Yes.
a people, as
Yes.
Americans for us,
Yes.
and be together and love one another. And that
Amen.
was the one thing that Jesus said. He said,
Yes.
love ye one
Love
another
as I have
as
loved you.
I has loved you.
So
You see what I'm
we're
saying?
gonna take a break right now, and we're going to show a clip of the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
Okay.
It was a joy picking the clips and things like that. And Mr. Nevada, who's the video guy that put it together, he did a beautiful job.
Okay.
Men who are white, men who are black, must and will now join together, as never in the past, to let all the forces of divisiveness know that America shall not be ruled by the bullet, but only by the ballot of free and of just men.
Love Revolution. Love Revolution. I'm here today to declare a war. It's a love revolution. Revolution. To put love back in our heart.
How did that video come about, and who produced it?
Actually, it was done by Andre Pittman.
Yes,
is
Andre.
also-
He did a wonderful job. Oh, okay.
Andre and Daniel Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
He actually did the actual editing and putting it together. And what we did was went on, online and so forth, and choose certain clips that would demonstrate what we were trying to say.
Yeah.
And some of those things, when I was watching it, it looked like some of those people was actually saying Love Revolution. And it looked like they were dancing to the music. And I went like, hey, this is really sharp.
Wow. Yeah, I noticed that.
I was loving it. Definitely.
Love is the key.
Love is the key.
You have begun this love revolution with this beautiful song, Love Revolution. I mean, it is, who was it produced by?
His name is Peter Angel,
Mm-hmm.
and Marion Ramsey and Peter Angel wrote the words.
Okay.
And then I had the precious backgrounds, the sweet inspirations.
Oh, I love the sweet inspirations.
Yes,
Wow.
we went in the studio, we did this background and we did this lead. And I'm telling you, we had a ball.
Yeah.
Those ladies are just dreams for me.
Wow.
And we had such fun. And so I don't remember if you remember who Marion Ramsey is. You remember the story, Police Academy?
Uh-huh.
And there was a girl in there that would talk real high.
Yeah, the 70s show, Police Academy.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That was Marion Ramsey who played that role.
She's one of your background singers.
No, she was one of the ladies that wrote the words.
Oh, okay.
With Peter Angel and Marion Ramsey, they wrote the words. Yeah.
Wow. I love it. I love it. We need a love revolution right now.
Yes,
That is
yes,
what we need. It needs to
yes.
sweep all across the nation.
Yes.
And I hear that it is very popular in the UK and in London.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where the promotional the label UK distribution.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really hot over there, I hear.
Yeah.
A hot record, yeah. And
well, I want to say
that's
a blessing. Wow. Wow. We need a love revolution.
Yes.
We certainly do.
Yeah.
I just want to congratulate you on your new music and your new video, which is just awesome. And I just want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming on to share your life with us here on the Cindy Davis Show.
Thank you. And thank you for inviting me. And thank you for giving our record this great push. I want to say thank you to Andre and Enthrone Records.
Yes.
I want to say thank you to them because they have been pushing me all the way. Andre has been a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely.
Because he just keeps my name out there. So I just bless him 1,000 times.
Yes, yes. Awesome. Thank you, Andre, for that.
Thank you, Andre. Yes.
Well, I just want to thank my audience. Thank you for tuning in to the Cindy Davis Show. And until next time, God bless.